And in that, if a war has been declared, like in this case, America had said that we will find every ship of Iran and we'll sink it. It was already announced. So we consider that war is announced.
The vessel had been actually attacked and the people killed in Indian waters. What would have India done, sir, and what are the rules for that?
Indian Navy must be on standby to escort them out of that area after taking assurance from the Iranians that my ships are going to escort and please don't fire in this time. Our biggest dilemma here is that both are our friends.
All three, sir.
All three are friends, yeah.
All three are friends, and that's the problem, sir.
That's the problem. The tragedy is that all four fast-growing economies of the world, they are fuel deficient. China, India, Japan and South Korea. And you go back to any World War histories, finally to decimate a country you need a sea power. If you want to decimate. And that's exactly what the Americans are doing. So I'm glad that the Rafale M is coming. And I'm glad that the numbers from 26 have been increased to 26 plus 31 now for the Navy. And 114 of course from the Air Force. Submarines are very difficult to locate. You can only see them when it surfaces. Otherwise, once it is down, unless you do a focused search and focused investigation, you can't catch him. And if you have a nuclear submarine, while you think you have caught him, he is speeding away at about 25-30 knots. So this is going to have a 3,500 miles of range.
Which is pretty good, sir.
I mean, it can hit our northern neighbor to other end if it is fired from Bay of Bengal from certain positions.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind. You're watching the Daily Brief by Defense HQ. I have with me Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, and we're going to discuss what is happening in the Arabian Sea, what's happening in the Persian Gulf, and how does it impact India. So, Jai Hind, and a very warm welcome, sir.
Jai Hind, thank you for getting me, Gaurav. Always a pleasure.
Sir, first question, sir. Iranian vessel sunk off the coast of Sri Lanka in international waters, sir. Is it okay to do that? I mean, a lot of people have asked me, and I'm not a Navy person, so I don't know the answer to this. Is it okay in case of a war that wherever you find an enemy vessel in international waters, you can simply go and destroy it and kill people? Is that by any chance or any frame of battle acceptable, sir?
Good question, and not many people probably know that there are the war manuals, almost like a gospel. It has got some name. And in that, if a war has been declared, like in this case, America had said that we will find every ship of Iran and we'll sink it. It was already announced. So we consider that war is announced. The ship was in international water and it was transiting. It was moving. So as far as target is concerned, unfortunately, it is a legal target.
So America has done nothing illegal, sir?
Nothing illegal. You can't try him on this. Otherwise, the war crimes, etc., is done when it is an illegal killing. And therefore, when you go back to the history of Second World War, you will find the winners, which was the West, nobody got tried. And they killed so many people. So they said it is a legitimate to kill these fellows. So here, legitimacy comes from that war manual, which is accepted, is almost in line with the Geneva Convention.
So you're saying that, sir, America announced that we are at war. The Iranians knew that they were at war. They were not in any country's economic zone or in that country's maritime border, if I may use that word. So they were in international waters.
Yeah.
They were not in territorial waters. They were in international waters, and therefore a modified target.
Yeah.
What happens? Let's say people said that vessel at first come to India, and then after doing the exercise in India, they left, and then they entered international waters after leaving our territorial waters. What would have happened? Let us assume a hypothetical scenario where the vessel had been actually attacked and the people killed in Indian waters. What would have India done, sir, and what are the rules for that?
Okay. The rules are very straightforward, that India must lodge a complaint immediately. and asked them not to indulge in these kind of actions. They were in international waters. There is no way he should have been shot. Then the commanding officer and the crew can actually be tried out in a court. Right?
Okay, sir.
They can be tried out that you have violated the sovereignty of India by firing a torpedo on a ship which was in their international waters, presumed to be their territory. So territorial water, that is why it is called territorial water. Because the law of the land, what you and I practice here, is applicable up to 12 nautical miles, and it is called territorial water.
So,
You consider as our land is extending up to that 12 miles.
so it is our territory.
Our-
Sovereign.
Ours, very much. Very much. So therefore, India would have been, but it was a very tricky situation. Like you mentioned, hypothetical. We are very close to the US. There are partners in so many things, Quad, Malabar, 2+2, intelligence sharing, and whole lot of things. And see, so many projects are going on with their help. We are already flying their aircraft, helicopters in PATI. So it would not have been prudent on their part to do something like this. Really.
And even they won't have done it.
No, they wouldn't.
They won't have done
No,
it.
no.
Not a smart thing to do when,
No.
you don't do that. Now, there is another Iranian vessel, sir, which sought permission to enter India's territorial waters. Permission was granted. And today that vessel is in Kochi, sir. I think it's there and all the people are safe. So, India is taking care of the Iranians, the Iranian Navy personnel, and they are safe in India. My question to you, sir, is, with all these things, the primary duty of the Navy is protection of the sea lanes and all of that. So, we've had this discussion before that is one of the primary responsibilities of any Navy for that matter, including the Indian Navy. Now, over a period of time, what has happened is that because of this China factor, the eastern seaboard became active. It was always active, but it became more active. So you said that, hey, this is how the Chinese Navy is growing and we need to address this threat, and therefore. So we spoke about the great Nicobar project and all of that, and government has given thousands of crores of rupees to develop that. All that is happening. Suddenly, the United States of America and Israel declare war on Iran, and Iran ends up shooting at every possible neighbor, shooting at the entire Middle East. Now, this has very badly impacted our energy supply lines. Today, India is at a disadvantage because while not being part of the war and not being part of any hostilities, so to say, but we are impacted very badly, sir. What is the role of the Indian Navy in this regard? There are a lot of ships that are caught near the Persian Gulf. They can't move forwards or back. Lives are at stake, and those are Indian citizens who are there. In such a scenario, what should the Indian Navy ideally do, and what do you think it is doing?
Well, it's already doing, there is a lot of diplomatic approach, naval diplomacy, and from the MEA, where they are asking for some clear area where they can be taken out. As you know that President Pezeshkian of Iran, he has said that he has apologized to the Gulf country.
Yes, sir.
And he said that there will be no more attacks. So from that point of view, the future looks to be safe. Now taking them out, now they will start pumping more crude. The Americans have said that we will provide security to the ships who are engaged in, taking the energy sources out. So that may happen. But as far as Iran is concerned, America remains in target. So it is quite possible that while he is, transiting with the merchant ships, he might get targeted by the IRGC.
Yes, sir.
So it's a tricky thing. But I would say that Indian Navy must be, to my mind, Indian Navy must be on standby to escort them out of that area after taking assurance from the Iranians that my ships are going to escort and please don't fire in this time. It can be done.
Do we have any sort of military linkages with the Iranians, sir, like training together and doing stuff like that? Do we have?
Yes, very much. Their naval guys are trained here. Medical branch is being trained here. Officers were also being trained.
Staff college, you said, sir?
Yeah, I had two. Of course, that was long back, 1986. But I am sure that they have this ITEC program. Iran is also one of the countries. They are friends. Our biggest dilemma here is that both are our friends.
All three, sir.
All three are friends. Yeah,
all three are friends, and that's the problem, sir.
That's the problem.
Yes.
And look at even the what is happening in the Gulf. So Iran has actually, mend the fences with Saudi Arabia. They just had a understanding that sorry, we will not attack each other, we will not do this. The Chinese brought their together.
Yes, sir.
But now they are also worried that what is it? Why has he violated? What is our fault? And you must have seen the one very billionaire businessman of UAE. He has virtually threatened Mr. Trump. He has said that what is our fault? Who gave you this permission to create a war where the missiles are falling in our country? He just made this statement. Last night, I think.
Sir.
So I think everybody is quite perturbed. India is not the only one which has been hit for energy. China imports as much, about 40-45% from that area. The tragedy is that all four fast growing economies of the world, they are fuel deficient. China, India, Japan and South Korea. these are the economic engine of the world. And all
Fuel deficient.
Yeah, all deficit. I mean, we are almost 90%. Fortunately, only 40% from the Gulf.
Sure.
But India has managed. They will manage. The minister, Mr. Hardeep Puri, he has gone on record. He has come on the TV, said there's nothing to worry. We have more than enough, and it doesn't mean that 40% is going to impact your day-to-day work. Sorry, there's still 60%, and that will be increased. And now Russia has been, they have given you a waiver to, can import from Russia. So they will fill up there wherever the strategic reserves. Strategic reserves are like this, what we are talking about is only in the country. But I'm sure, knowing the minister who is a diplomat himself, they would have had some arrangement with many oil producing countries to give them some bunkerage facility in their own country. So even that is available. I guess so. I mean, this is my very...
That is the logical thing to do, sir.
Yeah, it's my loud thinking, and having been on the Western Seaboard, they would have done this.
What do you think the Indian Navy, sir, looking at this new threat in the Arabian Sea towards our Western Seaboard, what do you think that the Indian Navy would do in terms of more warships, sir? More carriers, more submarines, more frigates or destroyers? In the sense of increasing the strength of the Indian Navy, do you think that would be one of the takeaways or your personal takeaways, professionally looking at this conflict, that we need a far stronger Navy? Because most of the air power, sir, if you forget about what's happening in the Middle East countries and Al Udeid Air Base and half a dozen air bases that the Americans have, it is essentially sea power projection.
No, I think you have hit the nail on the head, because this is what the Navy has actually been projecting for many years. Not from now, but we always said that we require 2 carriers operational and a third one in rotation for maintenance, etc. Because the ships take long time to repair. Small maintenance also, about 8-9 months. So to make sure that you have 2, you will have to have 3. But now, if you look at this, war which is going on, the Americans already have 2 aircraft carriers. The third one is on the way. So it actually, the efficacy of an carrier-borne aviation and sea power is once again evident. And you go back to any World War histories. Finally, to decimate a country, you need a sea power. If you want to decimate. And that's exactly what the Americans are doing. They want to decimate, just see the destruction they have caused. Of course, they are also assisted by Israel, no doubt about that.
Yes.
But their own, let's see the Saudi Arabia. So I would think for Indian Navy now that the government must go by the advice of the Naval Headquarters, the Chief of Naval Staff and the team of operational staff and the CDS, that what we should do. And I have been a great proponent of, larger carrier, 65,000, 70,000 tons. And,
Nuclear power, sir, or?
Nuclear power.
And we have the capacity and the capability.
We have the capacity to make it. I mean, if we can make 2 small reactors, which we are doing now, by all standard, it is small.
The Ariane, sir.
It is quite big. Now they are becoming smaller now. And hopefully the, small and sort of medium, reactors, SMR, the project which has already been sanctioned, and hopefully we'll have some cooperation with France, looks like. So once that happens, which is happening simultaneously, I would very strongly believe that we have a case for making a nuclear powered aircraft carrier with 65 to 70,000 tons of tonnage, so that it can move faster than what it can do, and reach the area where it is required. It doesn't have to be in that area. It can be 200 miles away. He has got aircraft. So I'm glad that the Rafale M is coming. And I am glad that the numbers from 26 has been increased to 26 plus 31 now for the Navy. And 114, of course, from the Air Force. Push come to serve, the Air Force will also support the war. But the point is that we must have these. Now, submarines are very difficult to locate. You can only see them when it surfaces. Otherwise, once it is down, unless you do a focused search and focused investigation, you can't catch him. And if you have a nuclear submarine, while you think you have caught him, he is speeding away at about 25-30 knots underwater. So, right? So, the two SSNs which the government has given approval, which is a strike submarine, no nuclear weapon, but a nuclear powered. So, we need more of those really, so that it can be redeployed. Right now, the Arihant class, the two are operational, one is coming online.
Yes, sir.
It will get commissioned any day. 3, I mean, if you look at it, the ranges of the missile will actually dictate as to where you should deploy them. Like Arihant has got probably a smaller range. Aridaman has got a slightly more. I don't know what is the third one called. So it will have even more, possibly.
Arihant, Arigat, Aridaman, sir.
Yeah, okay. Aridaman is the third one.
Sir.
You know it better.
Sir.
So this is going to have a 3,500 miles of range.
Which is pretty good, sir.
I mean, it can hit our northern neighbor to other end if it is fired from Bay of Bengal, from certain positions. So you require it, and you don't require to use it. You require it so that the other chap
He knows
behaves.
that you have it.
Yeah.
He should know you have it, sir.
Today, if Iran had operational nuclear weapons and declared,
Sure.
you think the US would have taken that liberty?
Nobody messes with North Korea, sir.
Nobody messes with any nuclear power.
Sir.
Why is he not fingering Russia? He's got more warheads, nuclear warheads, than the Americans have got.
Yes.
And pointing at every city of America.
Sir.
He does one mischief, threatens, he will say, Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes, sir. So you're saying, sir, more aircraft carriers?
Yeah.
More nuclear submarines?
Bigger aircraft carriers.
Bigger aircraft carriers, nuclear submarines?
And nuke subs.
Nuke subs.
Yeah. Surface ships, we are okay. The number of ships which are being produced, I think 46 are on track.
Sure.
Some will get decommissioned, but push comes to shove, maybe all of them are not getting decommissioned.
Sure.
Our aim is to get about 200 ships by the time Viksit Bharat 2047 is here.
Sure.
And that is doable. The Chief of Naval Staff, he spoke at some forum. I was sitting there. So I met him at some time. He said, sir, ye to ho jayega. This should happen. I mean, he keeps meeting these shipyard bosses and he tells them what is the urgency.
Navy controls the shipyard, sir.
Yeah.
They're pushing. They're pushing every day.
No, you're right. In fact, that is why the Navy's indigenization is way ahead of other services. It is in 60s that the Navy realized that some point in time, government sea blindness will go. They will start seeing far. From 1965 onwards, this is the story. So what they did was they said, okay, they will not have money to buy so many ships from outside. So what do? We make our own ships. So they went to the government. They said, all these defense shipyards, please give the backdoor, the rents to us. We will appoint an admiral. We make him retire, a rear admiral or a vice admiral. Give him early retirement and make him the CMD. I must add that the present government, led by Prime Minister Modi, that his focus on the maritime has been more than anybody else. I feel, my own personal feeling, because he belongs to a maritime state, and that state has a big, rich maritime history, which he is very familiar with. 3 terms as Chief Minister is not joke.
No, sir. And he understands the importance of the Navy, sir.
Yeah, he does. Because basically, Gujarat was famous for doing the trade. It was the sender. All the old ports, if you go back to prehistoric time also, the houses operate from there only. So he knows, he understands very well.
Sure.
And that is why his push is so much on the Navy. So I think that we'll have to look at Indian Ocean very fresh. Why? If America can target Iranian ship in our backyard and we didn't know that the submarine was there. They did not share. So we didn't want to know that what are they doing here, where will they be. If generally they had indicated, okay, our operations are going on up to what 150 miles south of Sri Lankan coast. At least we would have told our ships and submarines, avoid this area. Our merchant marine, which is bringing trade from all over, not to go through this area and avoid and circumvent. So this is the danger. If they don't, we know every ocean has got one American nuclear submarine in patrol, 24/7, all the time, throughout the year, 365 days. But if they are operating so close, at least the partner country should be told.
Yes, sir.
I would have, to be honest, I would have expected that, or maybe Indian Navy or the government will take it up. That we are quite
Yes, sir.
peeved by this approach. We have always told you. You have always told us in the past. We always knew where are they operating.
Yes, sir.
So that don't have to look for them.
Thank you very much for joining us, sir. It was wonderful speaking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you were watching the Daily Brief by Defence HQ and with me, Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha. Thank you very much for watching this. We'll be back again with another special guest very soon. Till then, stay tuned and Jai Hind.